Hi everyone, it's Rose from Dance of the Soul Tarot, and today I want to talk about a deck that has become one of my real go-to decks. You know, I've only had it for a few weeks, but it has quickly found its way into my heart, and I absolutely love it. And for those of you who follow me on IG, I'm sure you're not surprised to know that it is the Minoan Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi-Prince. There are two actually Minoan Tarots out. I don't know who the other one is by, but if you do a Google, you'll see both of them come up. So this is the box. It comes in fairly standard, and it comes with a small guidebook. But like Ellen's other decks, so she is the creatrix of both the Dark Goddess Tarot and the Tarot of the Crone. And so those of you who have one or both of those decks know that her guidebooks really bring the cards alive and take you to another place with them. And so it's small but very pithy. There's a tremendous amount of wisdom and creativity and inspiration in the book. So all the majors have a small color reproduction, but the minors, they don't have anything, although you see, I think she does this in the Tarot of the Crone handbook, where she puts all the cards on one page at the end of each section on that suit. So I was reading a little bit about reading the introduction just to get a sense of context for the deck, and it's interesting. I'll read you a little bit of what she says. Unlike their contemporaries in Babylonia or Middle Kingdom Egypt, the Bronze Age people of Crete did not exalt kingship, war, nor death, nor did they conceive a vast distance between gods and humanity. Instead, these people celebrated the presence of the goddess, the beauty of the natural world, and their own sexuality and creativity. This work shows that a lively, peaceful, sacred, and technologically advanced society is no fantasy, but a part of our history. Each card of the Minoan Tarot is based upon an original work of the painters, sculptors, jewelers, and potters who lived thousands of years ago. Color has been added to the images from monochromatic works in stone, gold, and clay. Painted works, such as frescoes, have kept close to their original colors. The Minoan Tarot has translated the work of these ancient artists into a new medium created to reflect the grace and originality of their beautiful world. So she, you know, just reading that, you can feel her intimacy with that civilization, their art, their ethos, and so forth, and that love and intimacy is translated into the cards. You know, and I think that's why it has spoken so movingly to me, because it's very alive. There's a tremendous amount of life energy in the cards and love. You know, you can really feel the dedication to staying true to the Minoan vision. So I'm looking at the time. I have this 15-minute time limit, so I think I will go through just the majors. That's probably all I'll have time for. And then if there's interest, I will go through the minors, because they are just, some of them are just gorgeous and very non-traditional, of course, as are her other two decks. But let me talk about, so this is the back. Let me talk a little bit about that first, because it's important. It's a Labrys. And this was a sacred symbol in Minoan civilization. And so Ellen talks about that. Let me see if I can find it. So she says, the card back shows the double-headed axe called a labrys, a primary religious symbol of the Minoans. This was not used as a weapon of war, but for ritual and ceremonial sacrifices. It was never shown in the hands of men, only female divinities and her priestesses. The Minoan Tarot image is based on a small gold offering from the Old Palace period found in the Arakalochori cave on Crete. So then she goes on to talk about what the labrys might have been used for, what it might have been used to evoke. Traditionally, it's seen as it may have been used to invoke this rain-carrying storm, she says. There's a sense of a feeling of lightning, the zigzag energy about it. Also, a symbol of the soul. So you see a butterfly here, and the Greeks believed that the soul, they saw the butterfly as a symbol for the soul. And of course, you have a sense of the waxing and waning of the moon as well, with these kind of curved images. But you know, all of those images speak to this, the holy power of the sky, and bringing a sense of nature down to earth and sacredness down to earth. So, you know, that's just the backs. But so right then, she's already kind of seeded a sacred intention just with the backs alone. So I'll go through the majors, and some of them, I'll read a little bit from some of them, and others we can just look at and admire. So she starts with the Lily Prince as the Fool. And I'll read the little bit for this because it is actually important. She says, so this was found by an archaeologist, this priest king, in his search for Minos. She says, although the restorers were aware of the Minoans' artistic convention of white skin for women and ruddy skin for men, which you see throughout the deck, the Lily Prince was given tan, setting this work apart from all other Minoan images. He is dressed in a man's apron, kilt, and codpiece, but wears the lily crown of officiating priestesses. In Evans, that's the archaeologist, in Evans' restoration, his arm is outstretched, but he has no hand, and lilies are at his feet. In the Minoan Tarot restoration, he is given a hand to hold the sacred lily. So that is the Fool. The Magician has become the Priestess. And I've spoken about this card in another video. The High Priestess has become the Oracle, and this is a probably very familiar image to many of you, the Minoan snake goddess. The Empress has become the Goddess. You can see these beautiful lines and curves and arcs, the kind of strong color that characterizes this deck. Beautiful blues and reds, they figure prominently. The Emperor has become the God, and here you see that ruddy skin she's talking about for the men. The Hierophant has become the Singer. And this is such a beautiful evocation and lens to view that archetypal energy through. So I'll read a little bit about this because it gives you a flavor for, you know, the specialness of the deck and the guidebook. So she talks a little bit about where the image is from. They're terracotta figurines. And she says, so this central figure here, strumming her lute, is the central figure of the group. Her voice and accompaniment provide the pace and the focus for the dancers. She moves the energy of the group as one. They step to her rhythm, to the harmony of the group under her lead. Her intent is that they all may partake in the power and blessing of the great ones. She sings the traditional songs, the teaching songs, the songs of grandmothers and of legendary priestesses. The singer lends her voice to the goddess, and the dancers their movement to the body of the goddess, who lives in them as they dance and play and sing, as they relive the ancient ways. When the ritual is over, each participant returns to her daily life with a stronger and more peaceful heart. And then with each card, she has what she calls messages from, and then she titles the cards. And some of the cards are like, this is message from the singer. But in some of the minors, the title is a little bit different, which gives another layer of interpretation to the card. So the messages from the singer: share what you know before knowledge is lost. Remember the stories of your childhood and listen to the wisdom of the elders. Bring people together in celebration of each other. So it's just such a beautiful interpretation of that archetypal energy of the Hierophant, seen through such a female lens, I guess, the kind of the female wisdom body. And I love the artwork here, the simplicity of it and the strength, again, the strong, bold colors, and the blue, which figures very prominently throughout the deck. I don't know if it's showing up here, but the blue is the most gorgeous shade of, it's not exactly lapis, it feels like it's got some purple in it, but it's beautiful. So that is the Hierophant, the singer. We have the Lovers. The Chariot. Strength. So she's kept strength as 8 and justice as 11. The Hermit is the visionary, and I spoke about this on IG. I just love this card. I love the line, the color. I love the fact that she's a conduit between the gravitas of the stone and the etheric energy of the butterfly. She says of this card, she says, a goddess or priestess rests by a large rock, retreating from action and involvement for a time of restoration, introspection, or mourning. Behind her, she hears the fluttering of silent wings, inaudible to most, yet she senses it. She turns to see the released and traveling soul. Her hands are raised in an attitude of honor and prayer. The butterfly was a symbol of the soul for the ancient Greeks, an element of the Cretan religion that survived centuries past the Minoan age. The visionary watches for souls. She sees where they live and where they go. She can send her sight to travel with them. Souls have a brightness that draws her to them. She seeks to discover their origins and destinations, their meaning and purpose in this world and beyond. The visionary does not lose herself, but remains grounded through her affinity with the stone. She brings profound knowledge and inspiration down to earth. Messages from the visionary. Seek the 1,000 inner senses. What shines cannot be seen at noon. Give yourself time for wisdom to grow. So, here we are at, I'm coming up to 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to have to stop this video and do this as a 2-parter, because I really don't want to rush such a beautiful rendering of this civilization and how Ellen has birthed it. So I'll see you on the other side.